Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, June 6th. It's the Plant-Based Morning Show. Lovecompliment.com. How come we don't have plantbasedmorningshow.com yet, Doug? Is that taken? Probably by now people would have got it.
Somebody smart should have taken it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, those .coms, they even matter now. People do XYZ and they do .biz and .tv, and I kind of feel like everyone treats them the same now. So all those investments, Doug, you probably made you a bunch of domains sitting somewhere that you put a lot of money into, and now they're just worthless.
Yep. I have hundreds of domains that. Now maybe for plant-based morning.show.
There you go. Yeah. See, there's no reason to get to .com. There's just so many alternatives.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, last show of the week for us, we got a fun one. We got 6 hot new plant-based dairy alternative product launches that are hitting the shelves. We've talked about a couple of them because we're on top of the hot stuff, but there are a few that we haven't yet seen. So that's what's going on there. You got Thirsty Thursday, Doug. I leave tomorrow for Virginia Beach. So
is this that tournament it's on sand?
Yes, the sand tournament when they block off like 2 miles of the beach for just hundreds of courts, and the kids just run around on the sand and play.
Didn't you you climbed a rope maybe or something?
I did, yeah, and I put it on my Instagram. I climbed a really high rope that's like surprisingly high for just being like a public on the beach playground kind of thing. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. I remember feeling like kind of sick after I did that. I think I had eaten lunch and drank a beer or something before I did it. And I was pretty strong at that point, and I was thinking if I could do that this year, I'm probably not gonna make it up, first of all. And if I did, I think I'd really feel bad. So I'm not gonna try that one this year.
Yesterday, I don't think I mentioned this. It was before the show, but yesterday Katie and I went to the gym together. We did our lifting together, which was really fun.
Nice. Were you giving all kinds of like form tips, and she got irritated that you were?
No, I mean I'm not qualified at all to give any sort of form tips, but it was kind of fun. I mean, I don't know. We don't work out together very often, so it was nice.
Yeah, Aaron and I went through a phase where we did that, where you probably remember, we were getting up like every day at 6 a.m., going to the gym. No, drop our kids off at school, and then we go to the gym together from like, I don't know, 6:30 to 7:30 or something. And we did it for like 3 or 4 months, and it was fun to have a workout partner in your spouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, well, good. I'm glad you did that. You give her the same chest routine, the Doug special.
I did the Doug special, yep. And then she did some other stuff, and I came back and worked. But got up this morning, went for a 6-mile run. So
good. Did you incorporate any pulling motions into the Doug special yet, like the back exercise to balance out the chest heaviness?
Pull-ups.
Okay, there you go.
Dips, but I don't. Does that back?
Dips, no, that's chest and that's pushing. That's chest and tris.
Okay, no, but
no.
I guess it's just pull-ups.
Do a little rowing machine.
Okay, a little rowing machine would be good. We do. I do in between reps, in between sets. Do boat pose. That probably has a little bit of back.
What I don't know what that is.
Like core, like you kind of like it's a yoga move where you have like you sit on your bum kind of and you lift your legs and your back.
Okay. Yep. Like a lemon squeezer kind of move.
Don't know what that is, but sure.
That's where you like your knees come into your chest, sort of as you're on your butt.
Yeah, kind of. But extend the legs out. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this weekend we got friends in town. That'll be fun.
Yeah, Kareem?
Not Kareem. Chris, who was also in my wedding. College buddy.
Okay. Good.
Family. Yeah.
Very nice. Good times. Like when friends are coming to town. It's always an anticipatory moment, waiting for friends to arrive for the weekend. Anyway, enough of those generalizations. Let's get to the specifics here. A lot of people checking in, and I got some YouTube comments to shout out, including one from Mr. Jeffy, the famous Mr. Jeffy. I think he left 2 comments, actually. So first of all, good morning to those who have said good morning, which is Brandon Turner, Dale Stevens, Kate, Anne-Marie, Vegan Stallion, who says, I have arrived, no applause. I got applause, I think. See? Katie C., Phyllis Hauser, KDC says, just finished yesterday's episode. It made me think, do you all still do the plant bites? She misses those. And no, we do not. Those were unfortunately discontinued. That was one of my very favorite products we've ever had. So I hate that did get discontinued. But the problem is it was a food product. And food, we have learned much harder to regulate, manage inventory because it spoils. And I guess because it takes up more room. I don't know. But it was too much of an issue. And they were popular, but not enough that it was like worth dealing with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jessica wants to know if Jessica, good enough. I didn't finish. Who checked in? Yeah, Jessica's the last one, I think. She said, did you take a selfie in the mirror? Otherwise, it doesn't count. Your workout. Did you and Katie do selfies? Share?
No, we didn't. We didn't.
Well,
no, but we should have. I did. I was last night. She was brushing. We were brushing our teeth, and I was like kind of flexing in the mirror. We were joking about that. But,
well, next time take a selfie and share it out there. Put it in Discord or something.
Oh, you want me to do that, huh? Okay, sure. Why not? I got nothing to hide.
Good. All right. Vegan Science says I'm working out at the gym regularly. Made up my own workout. Don't really know what I'm doing. Seems to be working, but gains are slow, probably because I'm old. Yeah, I mean, that's true. The gains for me have slowed down for sure. It takes a little bit longer to really get the quick results, but not. It's still. I think if you Vegan Science, I think if you organize your program, pick a proven program for somebody, actually do the proper eating that's supposed to go with it, I think you'll find you get results quickly. Because if you eat a plant-based diet, you're getting good nutrients. So I do a little research, find something. And Jessica says Doug's the next Nimai Delgado.
What if like we took a summer break and I came back and I looked like Nimai?
Yeah, you'd be like that Ryan. What was that American marathon runner? Ryan Hall. Remember he got?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like you disappear for a little while and then come back and you're just massive.
That would be really funny. Good. All right, let's go over to YouTube. There's some comments there. We're always asking people to leave YouTube comments, please, because it's supportive. It outweighs some of the troll carnivore comments, which really there haven't been many recently. Maybe because none of our headlines recently have been like anti-carnivore stuff. But first of all, Mr. Jeffrey, who we said, first of all, we called him out. We said, how did you respond so quickly to the episode if you now supposedly can't watch them anymore live? He says he was able to finish the first half later on his break and finished it later in the day. So he is still trying to keep up for now.
That's good.
And then I think I asked him, I said, where is he? We need him to answer us about this tofu technique to get the moisture out. And he sure enough, he commented on that one. He says, okay, the tofu technique is called brining. It's a trick used with a lot of meats a lot too. The tofu doesn't get dried out per se, but the salt water will replace the non-salt water until the two are homogeneous. I actually thought about exactly this morning. You have this diffusion that happens. Then when you cook the tofu, there's less H2O and more NaCl, the salt, and the water cooks out faster, leaving you with crispy outside and seasoned inside. I'm assuming it would work the same with tofu. So I actually thought of those things. I thought what's going to happen is you're going to still have moisture in your tofu, but it's going to now be saltier. And the surrounding water will be a little less salty than it was. And then I thought, you brine things like turkeys on Thanksgiving. People do that. And I always thought that was to moisten it. I thought they soak it in water, salt water, to moisten it. So here we're saying the tofu, doing the same thing with the tofu, is supposed to dry it out. But this is a good explanation, that it's not that it really dries it out. It's that there's less water and more salt. Because I guess that salt does displace some amount of water. And then you get crispy outside, seasoned inside. So anyway, it sounds like it could work. Sounds like a decent theory.
That's very interesting. That explains things quite a bit better than how I interpreted the video the other day. So there you go.
That's all right. All right, and then some other ones. Lucy Huron, who I don't think we've heard before. She said, "Hi guys, I enjoyed listening to your podcast while I exercise and on my drives. Thank you for the entertaining plant-based subject matter." And that one made me really happy. I think I even put a heart on that one because I don't know. It's like, I know we talk to the same 16 people each day who show up to the live show and participate, but it's nice that there are people who listen to this all the time, who we just don't hear from. So thank you for that. Anna said, do you guys still do a show on running? And the answer to that, Anna, is that on Friday, we do a little bit more of a fitness focused show. It's kind of No Meat Athlete Radio. It's kind of plant-based afternoon show. But we are not doing those Friday shows in the summer. So, we'll have to somehow, not we'll have to, but maybe we will incorporate some more fitness stuff into the plant-based stuff. I mean, when there's something that comes up about fitness, we generally talk about it if it's related to plant-based stuff. But people can tell us, audience can tell us if they want to hear more fitness-related content, even when it's not running. Like last Thursday or Friday, we did the 12-3-30 workout, which had nothing to do with plant-based. It was just a treadmill viral workout. So anyway, many people have been saying very nice things. So thank you everyone for doing that.
Awesome.
Please keep it up. Please keep commenting on those things.
Matt, I got a question for you.
Yeah, what do you got, Doug?
I've been thinking about some summer plans and planning my next Doug solo trip. If you had 48 hours by yourself where you could do anything you want, what are you doing?
I've thought about this before recently, and the only thing I can think of is a trip I actually did once. I went to Beaufort, South Carolina, not Beaufort, North Carolina. And it was like by the beach, and I just hung out, did some writing or whatever I was doing, took walks, which is really nice. Listened to podcasts sometimes just walked. I think I walked around the beach. I didn't actually go to the beach. I don't know. Like that was all I could think of to do by myself. I'm not into the outdoorsy things like you are, so I wouldn't like go do a hike or something.
Yeah.
A casino trip. I love casinos. I don't know. On my own, it might be okay. I don't know if I'd enjoy it or not. I don't think I'd get that much out of it. Like if you do that, I'm just like chasing an addiction around for 2 days and like trying to get the next, thrill.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I'd come back from that all fulfilled. I don't know.
Unless your wallets were filled, and then
right, then it would feel like the best use of time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What about you? You got any ideas?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, no. I mean, my default is like do some sort of run, do some writing part, like creative work, and then just like sleep and be by myself, and just kind of like think and walk and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something a little bit more creative than that. A little more interesting. I don't know what it would be though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're by yourself. Like, it seems like you should take and just basically do something that allows you to have a quiet time. You're thinking, you're in your own head, and it almost doesn't matter where you go then, as long as you're just like at a kind of peaceful place.
Right.
And I think that's probably why I don't often do it. Like, that's all I can think of to do is that stuff. You could go skiing, or you could like go on a food mecca trip, or go to a baseball game somewhere. Take a drive to Wrigley Field.
I don't know.
I mean,
that could be fun.
Better do that with somebody. I'd rather have a friend with me.
Right. There are certain things that would be really fun to do, right? Like go to a baseball game or whatever. Yeah. But it'd be way more fun with someone else.
Right. Yeah. So by yourself, you drive 2 to 4 hours away, get an Airbnb. I think that's as good as you're going to do.
Yep. All right.
When's that coming up? Is this to work on installment number 2 of your writing project?
It is. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Probably July.
Okay.
Vegan Stallion says I should get back into disc golf. Sounds great.
Yeah, I should do that actually. Bender of disc golf.
What's that?
Jessica says make a vision board. I don't know if that's to figure out where you want to go, or you do that on the trip.
On the trip? Sure. Maybe.
I don't know. It'd be fun. Well, maybe not. I was going to say, if you could go to like wineries, if you're like in California, or breweries, like I think it's kind of fun to go to a place like that by yourself and enjoy a drink, and then you just sit there and ruminate. But then, you know what? That's not that fun after like an hour.
yeah. Then you can only have so many beers because you got to drive home.
Right. And then, and like no one likes to be like a little bit buzzed by themselves. It's just not that fun.
No. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Jennifer P says,
I'm really bad at poker, but it'd be kind of like think about a casino. It'd be kind of fun to like enter a poker tournament or something.
Yeah, that's fun because that's social, and you can make the money last a long time if you want to doing that.
Yeah.
That'd be a good time. All right, Jennifer T, new person here, first time live. You guys deleted my question, or I don't know how to do this new YouTube thing. So we didn't delete any question unless it was an accident. With YouTube, there's like the comment box where you have just written this one, and then there's also the normal YouTube comment section, which is probably below the video. So I don't know, maybe you put it there and we didn't see it. I'm not exactly sure. But you can always just read it again now. We'll see this time. We won't delete it. I promise. Okay.
All right.
Enough
What
of
do we
that.
have on the
Enough
weather
of that
report?
business. To the weather report. Let me pull it up here. Let me get the music going. All right, here we go. First of all, a little hat tip to Veg News, because I saw this story about 2 weeks ago and I passed on it, thinking that Jif coming out with a Nutella-like product, meaning they're putting a chocolate thing into their peanut butter, a peanut butter chocolate combination. I thought there's no way that's going to be vegan, so I didn't even do much research. I think I clicked one link and then gave up. But then I just saw on Veg News something they posted a month ago was about this very thing, that Jif has launched their largest flavor innovation in nearly 10 years. Basically, they said stepping into the chocolate spread category right next to Nutella. The difference is Nutella contains dairy and Jif does not. Jif also has peanut butter in theirs, and Nutella, I guess, is hazelnut something, but I just don't think of that one as like even close to a peanut butter flavor. At least the vegan versions that I've had, or the Nutella actual ones from a long time ago. So anyway, Jif is making a peanut butter thing. It also, they say, has 50% less sugar than the, quote, leading hazelnut spread with cocoa, which you have to imagine is Nutella.
Is Nutella.
So
yeah.
anyway, yeah, I mean, we don't really eat the Jif stuff or any of the good peanut butters. We just get these like plain old peanuts and salt, and they're separated, and you got to either shake the jar up or stir it. And it's okay. But like, we give our dogs pills sometimes, and we give them with regular peanut butter because it's, creamier and just sticks together for putting the pills in better. And every now and then I'll get into that for a quick put on a bagel or something, and it's really good. So I do love those peanut butters, but they have palm oil and stuff like that, so they're really terrible. So I'm probably not going to be getting this, but could be a nice little treat. I mean, could be kind of fun to try.
Yeah, it's interesting. I got to pull it up here. So roasted peanuts, sugar, peanut oil, cocoa processed with alkali, contains 2% or less, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it looks like it's just
palm oil? No palm oil?
No palm oil.
Peanut oil. Well, that's good. And that's a pretty big win for peanut butter.
It's basically just roasted peanuts, sugar, peanut oil, and then cocoa.
Okay, and how much sugar are we talking about in a serving?
Sugar, fat, 200 calories per serving. Sugar is 10 grams.
In 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, probably? Peanut ping pong ball size serving?
2 tablespoons, yep.
10 grams of sugar. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not. If that's all you put on your bagel or whatever you were using this on.
Yeah.
If
you're dipping apples in it, like they're talking about here, you're gonna easily get 4 or 5 servings.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I mean, those like Jif, really any of the Peter Pan, any of the old like peanut butters we grew up on, I just haven't had any of those in years. They'd probably be way too sweet for me.
No, they're delicious.
Are they?
I don't like sweet things either, but you get one of those and they're just this perfect mix of sweet, sugar, fat, salt. I mean, they're just really good. Give one a try.
Oh, Matt, I can't believe I forgot to tell you this. You know what I discovered this weekend by accident?
What?
I was eating a piece of pretzel, and then somebody was passing around chunks of watermelon, and I just kind of grabbed one and added it, and I had like a half-eaten pretzel, and I added the watermelon. It was the best flavor I've ever had in my entire life. It was so good.
How can that be good?
I was like freaking out, getting the whole family to try it. They were all like, "Okay."
Would it be any better than just putting salt on the watermelon? A little bit of salt on there.
I mean, probably not. Maybe a little bit of texture difference, to have like the crunchiness of the pretzel in there. But I was making all these pretzel and watermelon like little.
It doesn't sound good at all. That sounds terrible.
Ah, dude,
it doesn't. I mean, I believe you. Maybe I'll give this a try. I'll suggest it to my kids. I'll see what they say. I'll try the salt thing. It just seems like the watermelon texture, like to try to chew that combination in your mouth of a hard pretzel and then a very soft watermelon. It just seems like a strange thing. And the watery watermelon and dry pretzel.
I mean, that dry pretzel is gonna get wet as soon as you put it in your mouth. Like, it's on point, Matt. You got to try it. You're probably gonna hate it because you hate anything that I suggest. But but your kids will like it. And
That's
honestly,
not gonna be the reason I hate this. I'm gonna hate this because it's not a good idea. This is a typical Doug mixing up flavors, unrelated flavors. Just the more the better.
I mean, but pretzels don't have a lot of flavor, right? They're just kind of like crunchy,
Yeah, I think
salty,
so.
and then you add that to a burst of juicy watermelon.
All right, Jessica Goodenough says it sounds really good, but she's pregnant right now, so not sure she's the best judge. Congratulations, Jessica. I don't think I knew you were pregnant. Dale Stevens, her classic, these pretzels are making me thirsty. And in this case, the thirst immediately quenched by the watermelon. So that's kind of good. And she points out it's like tahini on watermelon, which is maybe a little bit different, but tahini is salty and that goes on fruits. People put that on like mango. It's also very acidic, which pretzels are not. But yeah, I could see it. I could see it going. All right. So Jennifer's question, here it is. She put it on the other day. So I don't know where that was, but it's possible. This company lists 25 gram protein, but adjusts the DV to 12% better brand bagels. You ever seen this? I do not understand that at all. Oh, maybe she's saying Better Brand Bagels is the one who does this, and they put. She wrote to them. DV is based on total protein and digestibility with regard to amino acid profile, percent DV. Okay, so this is interesting. I didn't know anyone would do that. If you put grams of protein, like it usually has a daily value next to it, right?
Yeah.
But I think maybe what she's pointing out is that 25 grams of protein being only 12% of your protein would actually be that's basically saying that you need 300 grams of protein or something like that in a day. So maybe that's what she's saying. That is very astute to notice that. And the company adjusts it down because it's plant-based, and plant-based and the digestibility score, we've seen a lot of those, especially wheat, which I would guess is what the bagels are most of their protein's coming from. That protein digestibility score is something like 50%. So that does kind of add up. We had someone here tell us, someone in the comments, I don't know who it was, a while ago, said something about that. The protein digestibility score does not really matter for some reason or another. They gave us some explanation. I forget what it was, but they were basically downplaying the importance of that score. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. Maybe that she was asking about it, but then she got the answer from them, but very interesting. So thank you, Jennifer T. All right. Bridger says tahini on watermelon is so good. Doug, I don't hear you pushing tahini very often. It sounds like that'd be right up your alley. Something you discovered when you were a kid in your Central American days, and now you brought back to the United States. We had it in Mexico.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I do remember that.
Salty, limey kind of taste that you put on, and spicy. You put it on fruit and things like that, and and rim the glass with it of a margarita or something.
Yep. I remember that. Okay. That's a Mexican thing.
Yeah, it's a Mexican thing. Okay.
Try it.
Yes. So that was a very long first item of the weather report.
I got really excited about the watermelon. I can't forget.
I'm sure I'll have a chance to try that in the summertime. All right. Couple whole cut fermented steak. Well, whole cut vegan steak newses. First of all, the brand Planted, they are launching their fermented steak at the retail sector in Switzerland at Co-op and in Germany at Rewe, R-E-W-E. We've talked about that before. It's one of the grocery stores there. Planted.steak is the official name of this. I guess they're doing like the domain name bit. I don't know. But anyway, it's a whole cut and it is precision fermented. And the only reason I'm really interested in this is because I just really want to try one of these things. I've had every now and then a whole cut vegan steak and never been all that impressed, but precision fermentation, anything I try that's precision fermentation is like mind-blowingly close to the real thing as far as the whey protein in the dairy go or the ice cream. Is that the only one? I don't know, but I feel like maybe the only one I've tried. But you see it all the time. There's all kinds of news about precision fermented cheeses and things, and so far 1 for 1 in terms of being really good. So I would love to try a plant-based fermented steak.
We should reach out to Planted.steak.
We should. Let me just go to Planted.steak and see what happens if I type that in the old search bar here. See if that brings
risky. Put a URL in without going to Google first.
No, I'm not going to do that. It scares me. I'm going to lose my cryptos if I do that. All right. On to the next thing. The other bit of plant-based steak news is that Chunk Foods, who we know because they are the ones who got themselves into Charlie's Steakhouse in Orlando,
Right.
and it was like $75 or something for the plant-based steak. They say that whole thing went pretty well. Some quote about rave reviews of it there. They now have their steak. They've partnered with the NYC chain. I guess this is Ha 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 Mexicana. It's Jajaja, all one word.
Okay.
Would you pronounce that Ja Ja Ja, Doug? I mean, it's not the Mexican way, but you think that place is just called? I don't know. Figured you as a taco guy might have an answer to that.
Is it a Mexican name?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it says Mexicana right after it. Ha 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 Mexicana.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, they are this
Ha, ha.
partnership will bring
La.
tacos and chimichangas featuring chunk steak to all 4 Ha 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 locations in NYC, in Lower East Side, West Village, Hudson Yards, and Williamsburg. They're having birria tacos and chimichangas. Each of these different items is $22, but that's New York prices for you, I guess. I feel like we talked about this before because I've said that birria word before. Anyway, I don't know. So now that means Chunk Foods is now at 30 restaurants in New York City,
Wow.
Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Bronx. Yeah, so a lot of places. I still haven't tried it, but I would really, really like to. I don't think this one is precision fermented. I think this is just, I don't know how they make it, but I don't think it's fermentation.
Do you remember that? We covered it. It was like a log of like almost looks like a tenderloin or something. Like $50, $75. Expensive.
You order from the website.
Yep, $50 thing. I watched a review on that the other day on Instagram, and it like apparently is very, very meaty. You cut into it, it looks really marbly, and the guy reviewing it was like freaked out.
Juicy Marbles.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the brand is Juicy Marbles?
Oh, I don't know. I bet I can find it.
Because that thing had a memorable name, and I don't know. Yeah, I think it is that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to get our hands on something with this vegan steak. I don't know why we just haven't really had a chance to try it. I feel like we try a bunch of different burgers and things, but anyway, moving on. Let me know if you come up with that. All right, little Taylor Swift news. I know that you and Steven are Taylor Swift fans, and some others in here are not at all. An animal charity, says Plant-Based News, has warned people not to buy Taylor Swift's breed of cat. Apparently 2 out of her 3 cats. I'm not sure which names of them are these, but they're both the same breed, Scottish Folds, which is I've never actually heard of this or seen a cat like this before, but it has folded ears. And all the Scottish Folds cats descend from one cat born with a genetic mutation in Scotland in 1961. They're not officially recognized as a pedigree brand due to welfare concerns. And that welfare, by the way, Ed Sheeran also has one of these, although the writers of the article were careful not to blame these celebrities for this. They don't maybe know what's going on. But apparently the cats these Scottish Folds cats, they look extremely cute. They look like cartoon cats. You should Google one if you want to see it. Anyway, but these features that they have, the genetic mutation that causes them also causes osteochondrodysplasia, which is a disease which results in abnormal bone growth, arthritis, and severe pain. So they said these cats are mostly in pain their entire lives, and animals in general are good at hiding their suffering because I think if they show suffering, they will run the risk of being left out of the pack. So you won't know it, but that these poor cats are just suffering. So as long as they keep being bred, they're breeding animals that are going to just keep suffering their whole lives, even if they're treated well. So anyway, they're saying stay away from the Scottish Folds cat. Don't go get a boutique cat just because you're rich.
That's too bad. I mean,
it is too bad.
It's too bad that exists at all. I mean, that is a pretty darn cute cat. Look at that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But all right. So careful not to blame the celebrities. At some point, if you're gonna get a breeded cat, though, don't you want to do a little research on
Yeah, especially if you're paying. I would imagine these are expensive. I don't know for sure, but if you're paying a lot of money for a cat, right away, to me, red flag goes up and says, there's a lot of money in this, so they're probably not the cat's welfare probably not first and foremost. In this case, no one's alleging abuse or anything like that, but often it's just not good conditions that these animals are bred and live in. So
Right.
yeah, if you're paying a lot of money for an animal, I don't know. I'm just there's not many ways to me to justify that when you can go adopt one if you want.
$300 to $500 is what it says.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there is a little bit of responsibility to the person who's buying that cat to do a little research on what's going into the breeding.
They don't know. They just tell their assistant, they run out and get me a good cat, and they'll bring assistant bring back a bunch of pictures, and they're like, oh, that one has folded ears. I'll take that. I mean, that's probably how it is.
That probably is how it is, right?
How do they know the animals are in pain though if they are hiding, and if the guardians wouldn't know? Maybe an expert would be able to know that these animals are in pain. They can look at other less obvious cues, perhaps. Because I've gone down that thread or pulled on that thread as far as like animal suffering. Like if you crustaceans, for example, crabs, they do this kind of screaming sound when they go in a pot. And I think that's somewhat evidence that they're in pain. But if you go low enough on the food chain, insects, like how do we know that they actually feel pain and they're not just computers who are programmed to run away from pain? And how do we know it's actual suffering that goes on? So anyway, I was kind of wondering that about these cats. But I think with this, you would imagine an expert would be able to say that is.
Yeah. I mean, cats are intelligent enough to you can probably do brain scans to see what kind of
you're right.
stuff is happening in there.
Yep. All right. So there you go. There's your weather report today. Kind of a strange one, but that's what there is today. That's what the news was. So that's what you're going to get. All right. Any stuff to get to here?
Some
people talking
about for rescuing cats over breeding cats.
What'd you say? People are in favor of that?
There's some pleas for rescue over.
Oh, yeah, really. I mean, definitely do that. Somewhere I heard recently, I've always said this is fine for me to have cats and dogs because I adopt them and I'm rescuing them. Somewhere I saw or heard or read an argument against that, saying even if you rescue animals, you're still contributing to the suffering. And maybe the thing is just that, like, if there are always going to be people to step up to rescue these things, it's gonna in some way perpetuate the problem because there are fewer of them dying, I guess, or strays all around. I don't really know. I forget what the argument was. I didn't really buy it. But anyway, yeah, people, no one here is in favor of buying the animals, it seems. Britter says, heaven forbid we get a cat from a rescue.
Jessica's got a funny joke here about asking why or how to measure the pain. They give the cat a survey. Right. How much pain are you experiencing from 1 to 10? It has to be like little frowny faces and like crying faces.
Yeah, it's the only way the cats would understand. They wouldn't be able to do numbers, but if they see the emojis, they can get it. Definitely. Okay. There you go. That is it. I wonder what Garuda's take would be on adopting of animals. I think Garuda is generally reasonable, and in this case would say no reason to buy animals. You should adopt them instead. But no Garuda today to tell us that.
When you see a designer dog or something, do you judge the owner a little bit?
For sure. I mean, I don't know what a designer dog is. Is that just like a very rare looking type?
I mean, something that looks purebred, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely do. It's not that I judge them. I just think that person is completely ignorant of what they're doing. I don't think they're like malicious and saying, I don't care about the animals. They probably just don't know. And maybe wouldn't care. Because it's not, the dog that they got is okay. And they feel like this is the dog that is ours and we're going to treat it nice and all that. So,
right. Yeah.
What about you? You judge anyone with a dog. You don't like dogs, period.
Yeah, that's right. No, I mean, of course, a little bit. I mean, it's like, can't help but to notice that's likely not an adopted dog.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer T with the crustaceans info here. It's the steam escaping the shells, not a screaming, but cruel.
That makes a lot of sense. It always seemed strange that they would be able to scream like that, and you never hear that in any other circumstance. Because I used to do crab when I was a kid, before we were vegan, of course. And we would always deal with the crabs, and they wouldn't scream. They would pinch you, but they would not scream. But so then I do wonder like about pain though. So if that scream isn't a scream, like how far away are those things away from insects where it's like not that obvious that they're feeling pain? And I think experts kind of do know, or they can guess. We can't truly know, right? Because we can't have the experience of being a crab, but we can guess. And I think it's pretty certain that they do. But I'm not the person to listen to on this.
One more, because Jessica's on fire today. Jessica Goodenough says, if we could breed a dog that doesn't poop, I'd be on board with adopting one. I mean, we can breed seedless watermelons. Why not poopless dogs?
Because everybody poops. So it's a fact.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that.
Yep, it would be not a true dog. And she's also worried we scared Garuda off yesterday with the debate on animal agriculture, but Vegan Stallion comes in and says, nah, Garuda loves to argue. I've been seeing him around for years. That's funny to me that everyone has. We've heard that from several people. They're like, oh no, he's a notorious troll. We see him all over the place. It's funny that there are people who just this is their scene and they just do this, the circuit of whatever the vegan shows or whatever on YouTube, and that they just know each other, which is, it's not, it's interesting. I just didn't know it existed until we started meeting people who do it.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our article of the day. The only one worth getting into. Not even anything on Best Life Online or Eat This, Not That today. Looked, couldn't find anything. So what we got is from Veg Economist, 6 of the latest product launches in dairy alternatives that you need to know, Doug. You have to know these if you want to consider yourself a serious vegan, I guess. Anyway, we all know plant-based dairy alternatives. That's a big bright spot of the plant-based market. I don't know if I think the market share is like 10% or so of the total dairy product, or at least the milk beverage market, something like that. And I think that's a US stat. But like 30 or 45% of households have it once a week. I mean, very strong, good numbers. So no surprise there'd be a lot of innovation happening. So here they are. Number one, we talked about this just recently, New K's plant-based quinoa milk. And we both said we weren't that interested in the quinoa milk. It seems like it would have kind of a funky aroma to it, I think. But it's happening. That one's coming out. Yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Doug?
No. I mean, this was a surprise to me the other day, but we've talked about it, so we can move on.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2, Milkadamia's organic artisan macadamia nut milk. I don't know that much about this macadamia nuts. Macadamia oil, I think people use that as a replacement for butter. I don't know if that is because of the flavor of it or because of the heat stability, but I've seen it used as a replacement before. Anyway, it's a USDA organic offering. Let's see, lightly sweetened with organic agave nectar. So they don't mention anything about the flavor profile that I see. They say creamy texture and versatility in various culinary uses, but not a lot of details here about what macadamia nut milk will taste like. Are you interested in that, Doug? Buying some macadamia milk?
I mean, maybe. I just can't imagine like using it all the time, but like as a creamer or something like that, it might add some additional flavor.
Yeah,
like that could be cool.
Right. Well, we got some creamer ideas coming up for you in just a second. Actually, right here, Belchem's cold water soluble oat creamer. So I wondered when I saw this what that meant. Like, isn't pretty much any oat milk going to be cold water soluble? It just dissolves. But this is not a liquid. This is a powder, a powdered blend. You would stir this into, I guess, cold water. I mean, or maybe also hot, but especially cold water. It actually works. Whereas maybe not everything would dissolve in cold water, but this does. I'm pretty sure this would be like for well, I don't really know. I assume this meant for like a coffee. Like if you're drinking iced coffee, you'd pour this in to cream it, to make it creamier. Is that what your interpretation is?
Isn't that what creamer is?
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking perhaps like, is this just a concentrated oat thing that you mix with any kind of water and you get oat milk out of it? But I don't think that's something like that is coming next year, or in a few minutes, but no. All right. These are not that interesting, to be honest. Number 4, Haven's Market First oat-based toddler drink. So I guess there has never been an oat-based toddler drink, but I don't really understand what makes this a toddler drink. The packaging looks kind of interesting. It looks like there's like an energy gel packet almost. You've seen, I think, like applesauce in these kind of containers with this little plastic tube straw kind of thing at the top. But anyway, they say this is designed to be nutritionally equivalent to traditional A2 cow and goat toddler milks. providing similar levels of protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, and minerals. So, is there a toddler milk category like in the non-vegan world?
I didn't know that, but maybe. I mean, it kind of would make sense that they would have a milk that was fortified in certain things for younger kids as they like wean off of breast milk and everything.
Right. Right.
So I mean that kind of makes sense to me, and I mean honestly, I probably would have used this a couple of years ago because we were really concerned about one of my daughter's protein levels, right or wrong, I don't know, but just concerned about whether she was getting enough. So I would have probably used something like this.
Yeah. All right. Well, it says it caters to parents seeking plant-based options for ethical or environmental reasons. That would be you, Doug. And let's see. Oh, A2. I think A2 is like the protein thing, like where it doesn't have the protein that is considered more dangerous and increases IGF-1 levels. I think, but I'm not positive about that. But I think that's what it is. And let's see, available in New Zealand, soon in Australia and the United States. All right, next up, we've heard of this one before. MYOM, I don't know. It's all capital letters. Oat paste for sustainable oat milk. So this way, you don't have to buy the big carton of oat milk. That you have that water, the water that is in a milk carton that needs to be transported. Obviously, the cardboard itself, you don't need to move that around. You just buy this oat paste, fill up your own water jug, and dissolve this paste in it, and you get oat milk. Yeah, not that much else to say. You make oat milk.
I like this. I think this is good.
Yeah, we talked about this. I mean, I would guess that you end up getting something that tastes better than something else, right? Because you don't need to have like stabilizers and stuff in this if you're making it in small batches at a time. So you probably end up with something that has extra or fewer extra ingredients in there, and maybe as a result tastes a little bit better. I don't really know, but
I don't know.
I tried.
But I think this is a good move. I would like to see more plant milks do that.
And finally, number 6, Kerntex upcycled apricot kernel milk for Coop. Coop being a Swiss grocery store. I don't think it's co-op, but I don't really know. Anyway, they've made this thing. I think we heard about this before. Upcycled apricot kernels. Upcycled meaning they get the kernels from some other apricot producer who's already using the fruit for something else, and then make nut milk out of that, or whatever you'd call this kind of milk. They say it has a similar taste to almond milk, helps prevent food waste and reduce carbon emissions, and that's it. That's all there really is about it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not that interested in trying that, but maybe if I saw it.
Do you think there's a point where we just need to quit making different plant milks? Or because I was wrestling with this when I first read it, I was like, do we really need quinoa milk? Do we need apricot milk? Do we need macadamia nut milk? Like, do we need all these? And
right,
because we already have oat and soy and pea and almond and hemp and all these other ones. Like, I wonder if we're just diluting the pool of people who are going to buy these products so much and confusing people because they don't know which one to get. And they look at the aisle and they see like 15 different types of plant milk. If we're actually making it harder on ourselves. That was my first reaction when I read this morning. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, also, it's kind of cool that we can make plant milks out of all these different things. And they all probably taste a little different and serve a slightly different purpose and, offer a little bit different nutritional profile. So I don't know. Where do you land on that?
Yeah. I mean, what you described sounds a lot like what has happened in the plant-based meat market, right? There was just too many small competitors, and we've seen the result that a ton of them are going out of business. The products probably weren't differentiated that much. Whereas with this, first of all, this market has been much more successful at getting market share from the non-plant-based versions. So there's a bigger pie for sure. So therefore more competitors could fit into the market. These also are all very different. Like you said, there just might be people who have to be nut free, for example. So they're going to be happy to have quinoa milk or whatever other one that is new, apricot seed milk. So yeah, and I guess there's some different reasons, and some of these also said that like in different culinary purposes, some work well. One wouldn't be a good creamer, but the other one might. So yeah, I guess so. It still seems like a lot to me. Like if these things, if you imagine going to a store and seeing all these varieties of plant milks there, hard to imagine that sustaining for a long time. Like you would just think it would sort of consolidate. But I don't know. I really have no idea.
Well, I mean, I do think that there's a potential issue for the consumer, right? Like someone who's trying to maybe, oh, I'll try a plant milk or something like that, and they look and they see 12 different types of plant milks, which is probably not that big of a stretch. Maybe a generic Ingles, your generic grocery store probably has 6 or 7. But they have a bunch. Like that is a bunch. And then you like look at it and you're like, I don't know which one is going to taste good. Are they all for milk? Are they all for cereal? Or are they all for, like, what are these for? And then you just turn to the cow milk that you're familiar with. And
or chances are, or you grab one and like chances are you don't get the best. Whereas if later on, more mature market, it's consolidated and you've only got a couple brands and the products that work and have lasted are the ones that are there, then the person who tries it for the first time is going to get a winner. But perhaps you grab quinoa milk because you say, I've heard about that and it tastes terrible. And then you never try it again. And that's a possibility. But I don't know too much about the evolution of markets like this. So I'm just guessing.
Yeah. I don't know. Interesting.
Jessica wanted to know what's the next ridiculous thing that will be made into plant milk?
Hops.
Okay.
Hop
I was going
milk.
to say spent grain kind of stuff. So we both went to the beer, like beer, the spent grain from beer brewing. Take that stuff. Although I don't think that would work because they already took the goodness from the grain and you're left with like fiber and stuff. So I don't know how that would make milk very well.
There's hop water. Why not hop milk?
Because it would taste like hops and it wouldn't be any good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this kind of proves your point. Why do we need more of these? Right? We have nuts. Nuts are really good. They give some fat. They put a little bit of protein in there. Soy milk. I mean, I don't know what else we need. Why we need to do more. That's a good point.
How many can you name? Let's see how many we can name. We'll do this to close out. All right. We got soy, almond, cashew, pea.
There's cashew milk. I haven't seen much cashew milk, but I'm sure it exists.
There's cashew milk. Yeah. Pea, hemp.
Rice milk.
Rice. Now quinoa.
6? Now there's apricot, quinoa, macadamia. What are the other nuts? Almond, walnut milk. Has that been done?
I'm sure it's been done, but I've never seen it, so I'm not going to count it.
How about filberts? What is a filbert? Filbert is a hazelnut. Already done. How about Brazil nuts?
That'd
be good.
See, that one might actually be. That might be good.
Yeah, because that has some saturated fat. I think you can grate it. You can grate a Brazil nut like with a cheese grater, and it turns out to be like a very Parmesan cheese like fluffiness. It doesn't taste the same, but kind of interesting. So anyway, because of that, they have that oiliness to them that I would think would work well in a plant milk.
Jessica
no
says
beans. I mean,
potato milk.
It's just soybeans, right? Like no other beans make milk. No one makes chickpea milk.
I don't think so. I mean,
peanut milk.
Oat milk. I didn't do oat.
Oh,
That's good.
Okay.
Peanut milk. Did you say that?
I said, has there been any peanut milk? And I don't know if there is. Jessica says potato milk. You get that one?
I didn't. No, that's 11.
Jennifer T points out the phytoestrogens in hops. Everyone jump on the man boob train with that. She's right about that. I've heard Gregor say that they are hormonally active or high in estrogen or something. Hops. So you got to quit drinking beer, Doug. I guess.
Guess so. I mean, beer does give you boobs, but it's mostly because of the calories, I think.
Let's just get that. Yeah. All right. So what, did you get to 10 or so? 10.
Yeah, that was 11. We got to 11.
It's a lot.
Anne says you have to count walnut milk. 12. Okay.
Why do they count that? Is it a real thing?
Yeah, I guess. I
All
don't know. All right, so there you go.
Yeah.
Walnut milk is a thing you can buy.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, we've settled it. There are 10. That's too many. Market is saturated. we declare at the Plant-Based Morning Show.
No more plant milks. That's
We've had
my
stop the innovation.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Good. That's it. That's all. That's all for the whole week. We're done. We will be back on Tuesday. I'll have a report on my soccer weekend in Virginia Beach. Let you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell us how your friend visit went, and we'll get into the vegan news of the day. Who knows what will be here on Tuesday? What new incredible news we'll have to discuss that day.
What new incredible plant milk is going to be announced?
That's right. What are you doing?
Hot milk, I'm telling you.
Nobody wants hot milk, though. I don't think they want that. Not good. All right. That's all. See you Tuesday, folks.